First and foremost, I want to thank all these amazing people who offered their help with this video, and literally this video wouldn't have existed without your help, so thank you all. Of course, we're starting with Season 1. Nina Flowers won the first ever main challenge in Episode 1, and thus she had immunity for Episode 2. Thankfully, for me. In the second episode, Nina was part of Ongina's team, which was the winning team, so she didn't need the immunity. Given that Ongina was the winner, she got immunity for Episode 3, and in the third episode, Ongina did well and placed high, so she again didn't need the immunity. As BB won the main challenge in the third episode, she got immunity for the fourth episode, and guess what happened? Yep, she did well, and she did not need the immunity. I assume that because he saw how unimportant immunities were up until then, Ru decided to not use them anymore, just in time for Ongina to be eliminated in the next episode, where if the immunities were still being given out, she would have been low by default. Should I do a what if immunities were present throughout entire seasons kind of video? As you can see, nothing changed in Season 1. In Season 2, Episode 1, Morgan won the main challenge and got immunity for Episode 2. Given that in the second episode, the bottom two and the bottom team was decided by the amount of money the queens earned, and Nicole and Raven earned the least amount of money in the team that earned less money, Morgan's immunity was really not of any need. Sahara won the main challenge in the second episode, so she had immunity for the third episode, and surprise, surprise, she did not need it. Raven and Mystique did the worst out of the two teams, that was quite clear, and Sahara was safe regardless of her immunity. Finally, we get to the fun part, Snatch Game. So, Tyra won the main challenge in episode 3, thus she had immunity for this episode. Now, without her immunity, Tyra would not have been safe. But I also don't think that she would have been in the bottom two. While her Beyonce was definitely boring, it was true to Beyonce. Fight me, she's boring. But it was true to life, and her runway was superior to what Sonique and Morgan were wearing, so yeah, I don't see her landing in the bottom two here. Tatiana won Snatch Game, so she won the immunity for the next episode, which kept her safe, and she was flat out told that she wasn't in the bottom two solely for her immunity. But because here in this scenario, she doesn't have the set immunity, she is in the bottom two. Now, who is she in the bottom two with? Morgan and Sahara both got similar critiques, and here's another thing. If Tatiana's in the bottom two with Sahara, she's going home. But if she's with Morgan, and if Tatiana does know the words to the song, she might have a chance. Because Morgan was in the bottom two in the episode prior, I'd guess that she'd be put in the bottom two again. She earned a second chance and she flopped, so yeah, we have Morgan and Tatiana in the bottom two. Partially because I want to make my job easier by having Morgan leave, and partially because I really hated how Morgan performed Carry On, I'd say that she'd be eliminated here. Tyra won the immunity for the next episode, but similarly to Tatiana just now, she was told that she would have been in the bottom two had she not had immunity. So Tyra's in the bottom two in episode 6. Let's try to assess now who she'd lip sync against, Jujubee or Sahara. It might seem like I'm favoring Sahara, but I think Jujubee would be there with Tyra. The storyline of episode 6 was basically that Jujubee was definitely gonna wait, nope, she choked. And in my opinion, minus Sahara's scream at the beginning of her performance, I don't think she was that bad. So we have Juju and Tyra in the bottom two. Now, Black Velvet is one of the most known lip syncs from earlier seasons because of Jujubee's incredible performance. And yeah, she may have been drunk, but you know, still, her performance was amazing. So yeah, Tyra 100% would have been eliminated here, which I don't have to tell you this, but it changes the season a lot. No immunity was given in this episode, Jessica won the main challenge and then was eliminated in the next episode. I'm sensing a trend here. Anyways, episode 7 is the one where the queens had to think of an autobiography name, shoot a cover, and then do an interview promoting the vodka drink thing. I don't know, I don't drink. Now, Sahara was very well spoken. She did okay in the acting challenge and in Snatch Game, so I don't think she'd have much of a problem at the interview. The problem may come with her actual looks that she had to pull this episode, given that she was almost always criticized for her looks. And I think that those would have had her land low, but not in the bottom two. Yeah, I think that the bottom two would have been Jessica and Tatiana, and that Jessica would have been eliminated. Next episode is the makeover episode, and I think that Tatiana, the one who got to pair up the queens with the person they were doing a makeover on, would have had the same pairs, but of course, the person that Tyra got originally, in this case Sahara, would get. However, I feel like the bottom two would have been Jujubee and Sahara. I think Pandora would have been safe. You know, the main critique that they had for Pandora was that Litterbox, the queen she made, outshined her, and honestly, how is that a bad thing? It's a makeover challenge. It's like if they told Raven during the rock and roll challenge, well, you were too much like a rock star. We didn't see drag queen, so you're in the bottom, fuck you. You know? So yeah, I think Juju and Sahara would be in the bottom 2 here, and that this would be the episode where Sahara goes home. The top 4 episodes is the ball episode where the queens had to do 3 looks. A teen idol look, an executive realness look, and their most glamorous look. Now, we know how Juju, Raven, and Tatiana would have done, but what about Pandora? Well, I see her doing well in the teen idol look, given that she does have that sort of cutesy, innocent side to her, and even in the executive realness look. The glamorous look would be a problem, but not too much of a problem that she'd be in the bottom 2. With Tati and Juju in the bottom 2, Tatiana gets eliminated, making the top 3 Jujubee, Raven, and Pandora. Now, out of the 3 of them, I think that Jujubee would get the 3rd place, Pandora 2nd, and I think that Raven would have won the season. And no, I don't hate Tyra, stop typing that in the comments like I see you doing it. I think that Tyra is one of the most deserving winners ever based on how she did on the season and how the season was actually set up. But I don't think Tyra would have won had there been no immunities. Just think of it this way. Theoretically, she would have been in the bottom 2 twice, in the Snatch Game and in the Rock and Roll Challenge. She would not have been able to outperform Morgan in the 2 of Hearts, nor Juju in Black Velvet. Though I do think that she'd be able to beat Sonique and Sahara when we look at how they performed said songs. However, this would mean that she'd reach the finale with 2 times in the bottom 2, you know, just like Raven did, but overall her track record would have been worse than Raven's and she would not have won. Of course, unless Ru picked her to win regardless of how she did. Oh, bitch, that was a long one. Okay, so season 3 now. Raja wins the immunity in episode 1, and even though she was on the losing team in the next episode, the immunity did not help her much because Delta and Phoenix were atrocious in the main challenge. In episode 2, nobody won the immunity because the win was shared between Alexis and Shangela, who did not have a sugar daddy, but she could have had one if she wanted one, because she was what? Robbed on All Stars 3. I'm kidding. Anyways, Alexis wins the immunity in episode 3 for the next episode, the QNN news episode, which didn't really serve her any purpose given that she did well in the challenge. And the final immunity went to Manila, whose immunity was valid for the Snatch Game episode, which, again, she didn't need because she did kinda well. So yeah, immunities. Who needs them? Not season 3, because Stacey didn't get the immunity after her winning Snatch Game, and then she was eliminated in the next episode. Told you I was sensing a trend. Season 4. According to all the lovely people that helped, immunity was awarded only in the 1st and 3rd episode, and to none other than Sharon Needles, who didn't need it either time. It could have also been rewarded in the 2nd episode, but due to the fact that Madame LaQueer and Chad Michaels both won the main challenge, the immunity was not rewarded. And finally, Season 5. The immunities here are according to the RPDR Wikia. In the first episode, Roxy is awarded immunity for episode 2, which she did not need, because she did fairly well enough to be safe. Lineisha won the main challenge and immunity for episode 3, and in episode 3 she placed low alongside Vivian, with Coco and Monica in the bottom 2. Do I think that Lineisha would have been in the bottom? Honestly, yeah. She was the team captain, and her look on the runway was basic, poorly constructed, and really ugly. I think that she'd be in the bottom 2 with Monica, similar reasons to why I thought Morgan would have been in the bottom earlier in the video, but Monica was also bad, and she was not just bad, she was bad in a very strong group of girls, which is why she and not Coco would have been in the bottom 2, and then, of course, eliminated. Detox wins immunity, which she did not need for the next episode, given that her performance in the Black Swan was, you know, okay. Now, Miss Alyssa won immunity for episode 5, where she bombed Snatch Game, and was flat out told that she should be in the bottom, and now she is. I think that she'd be in the bottom 2 with Lineisha, cause, okay, as weird and as unfunny as Detox's Kesha was, it was at least entertaining. Lineisha's Celia Cruz, on the other hand, was so cringy, and I felt so bad watching her. So yeah, I think Lineisha would be eliminated in the same episode she was eliminated in originally, but this time she would lose the lip sync to Alyssa. Other than that, I see the rest of the season going as it did, and yes, I do think that Roxy and Alyssa would have been saved in the Whip My Hair lip sync, because for one, I think Alyssa beat Roxy because she actually lip synced and was able to hide the fact that she didn't know the words, and Roxy was saved because she shared her story, and I don't care that Ru loves Roxy's wig reveal, I love it too, but it did not outperform Alyssa. Her lip sync was just about the stunt. Anyways, other than some people being in the bottom 2 when they originally weren't, I don't think the season would change at all. Oh, at all.